Whatever the hour, whatever the film or the Eurovision drama, it's coffee time. This is Emmanuel calling from Coffee Break, where we take a break and discuss about films, Eurovision and much more. Grab yourself some mug of hot tea or coffee, take a sip, and let's dive into this. Let's talk about Steve.
Who are you?
I
Steve. This movie follows head teacher Steve battling for his reform college's survival while managing his mental health. Concurrently, troubled student Shai navigates his violent tendencies and fragility, torn between his past and future prospects. This film comes to us from Belgian director Tim Millans, who previously directed Small Things Like This, which came out last year, with Cillian Murphy, who just won an Oscar for his performance in Oppenheimer. And Steve is also starring Cillian Murphy, and he's terrific in this. He gives a slightly more extroverted performance in this film compared to his more subtle and reserved trademark style of acting. We always understand what he's feeling and what he's going through. He communicates his emotions to us very directly, perhaps more than the writing does, but we'll get into that later. Emily Watson also shows up in a supporting role, a smaller role, which is not as compelling as her excellent performance in Small Things Like These. I don't want to get too caught up in comparing the two films, but it feels like this time around the director was far more interested in showing off his directorial skills. Small Things Like This was such a taut and naturalistic film. It was a slow burner, a meditation almost. In this film, Steve, I found a much bigger disconnect between the director and what he was trying to communicate. It's not that what he's trying to communicate is not important, or that his direction is bad or incompetent. It's the misfit here that sort of hinders the final product. The shots don't feel like they were as meticulously planned and thought out as they were in Small Things Like This. There is a lot of handheld camera work in this film that was almost headache inducing. Perhaps he was trying to channel the sort of disorienting and very intense vibe that a person would be going through if they were in that environment. So I can kind of understand it from that perspective. It just didn't feel as purposeful and as thoughtful. It felt like the director was trying to prove something when sometimes less is more. There was, however, a shot somewhere in the middle of the movie that was stunning, but once again it felt more like a gimmick rather than something that was serving the overall picture. The character of Steve is mostly drawn to us from Cillian Murphy's performance. But beyond that, I thought that he was very half-baked and majorly underwritten, which sort of sticks out like a sore thumb when compared to the overcooked direction. I've been complaining a lot about this film, but in the end, I think that Cillian Murphy's terrific performance elevates it. And I like the fact that it takes place within a single day. The final shot is definitely worth thinking about and pondering on for sure. And this film is trying to say something that is very important. But I think that most people aren't going to be that bothered by the loudness of the direction and that they're going to take away something quite valuable. I'm going to give Steve a B. It's on Netflix right now, and I think that it's worth your time, but be aware that it can be intense in places. And that is a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Also, make sure to follow me on multiple social media platforms, including Letterboxd, for more film-related content, and the Awards Expert app for real-time Oscar predictions. The links are in the description. Can't wait for more coffee breaks. And until next time, pour yourself a fresh one.